and its purpose is to showcase how to interact with one of the greatest frameworks for Python, and that is django. And in this video we shall be seeing how to set its environment, to do all the back-end interactions and handle all the errors that might arise when you are interacting with it, and much more. So we shall be seeing how to handle the post and get requests within the database, and then it will help us into developing some web applications with Python. So let's get started, and I create the folder for our project. I normally create them in this, and let me call it maybe strong foundation. And I will use Visual Studio Code text editor for this case. So let's set the environment, and let me first wrap up what we shall go through when we are doing this. We have to first create a virtual environment. A virtual environment is a separate environment for Python that will be having all the other scripts we can install in it. Rather than installing the Django or other programs in the other environment, which is the general environment for our PC, we can create a virtual environment that will be activating every when we want to access our application. So let me open it using a terminal that I have. You might be using CMD or some other terminal that you can use, and I'll be elucidating how all these commands be like different. So let me start by creating a virtual environment. I activate it, I install the Django in it. After installing the Django in it, I use it to create a project, create an application, and then later on we can write our Python scripts within it. So you can first test if you have Python installed by just doing this Python, and it will tell you whether it's recognized or not. For my case, I use Python 3. You might be using only Python or Py, whatever you will be using to work here. So I will say Python 3, the negative M flag, which means that it is corresponding to a Python virtual environment that I'm going to create with venv, and then the name that I like to give it, I can call it env, and it's created. So I have to activate it after creating it. For your case, if you're using maybe CMD, you might open this env, and inside you'll be finding a folder called scripts, and it's the one that will be having the activate file for this environment. So you might find yourself using env, go to that env, then you will be using the / scripts, and then activate .bat. But for my case, I'm using bash, so I will be using this source env, then source env bin, and then activate, and then the virtual environment will be activated by seeing this env here. Later on, I will have to install in the Django after activating the virtual environment by pip install the Django. So I have to be connected to the internet to install this, and it is done. So after installing it, I will be using it to create my project by using the Django admin start project. then I call it maybe project. So we shall be seeing whatever is inside these folders, and then we elucidate more about them. Let me first clear these. Thereafter I will have to move to this project inside it, because it's where there is manage.py. Manage.py is a very important file that we shall be using maybe to run our application, maybe create apps and much more. So let me first move to cd, then project, change directory to project, and I find manage.py, which I will be using to create an application. Python .py, then start up. I can call it anything. I don't have to forget that I'm using Python 3. So start up, I can call it a blog, I can call it a translator, I can call it, for this case I can call it guy, because I want us to create a get and a post request. We see how to retrieve data from the database and at the same time display it in front on our pages. So let me start an app called gallery, and after doing that I will have to put here all other folders for our project that it needs to run. So this is our main project folder. This is the virtual environment where we shall not be editing anything in it. This inside has a name similar to the project name, but we shall be using it for accessing the settings of our project and all other things to link our project to our apps that we have. This is the application that we've created, and then let me create all other necessary folders before doing any other thing, since in this video we shall set the environment and then we do one practical example of this. So let me create a folder. I usually use this way. Can right click and then create another folder here. I have to create it inside the projects because it's the root directory for our project. So I'll have to make a directory called static. Static is the directory that handles the JavaScript files and all other styling files. Then I have to create media. I have to create maybe templates. Media is all about our images. It will be serving the images to our application, and then templates, it's where our templates such as the index.html and all other HTML files will be. So we've finished creating all the other necessary folders inside the root folder of our project, and then I have to move into each of them, creating the necessary files that they must carry. First of all, let me move to our static files folder, static, and then I create a folder that will be having the CSS and then the styles for our folder. That folder shows, I will create it similar to our app name. You might be having many applications inside your project, so therefore that's the number of folders that you create under static, and again under it you create other files like index.js or index.css. So I'll have to make another directory called gallery. Then I move to the gallery. Let me make this rich here so that you see what I'm typing very well. let me create I've created a static, then gallery. I must move inside this gallery folder so that I create the index.css and the index.js cd gallery, and then I have to expand this so that we are at par of whatever I'm writing. So let me just first okay, let me just say touch. You can manually right click and create a new file, no problem with that. Touch index.js and also touch index.css. So I have a folder called static where our static files reside, but they must be inside an app's name, because we might be having many apps. For example, translators. For example, you are creating maybe PDF to Word document application, or for example any other application that you wish to create. So that's why I created again another gallery folder inside static, and then I get out of that folder, cd, then 2 full stops. I then get to media right now. After going to media, I will be maybe creating another folder where the images will reside. You might be having images of many categories, so I have to make directory of maybe uploads. Let me first clear this so that you see what I'm typing. So inside media I have created another folder called uploads, and right now I think I should go to templates. I also create other folders. Under templates I will be creating gallery because it's the name of our application. Then I put all other files that I need under that application. Okay, so cd I go to templates, oops, let me see, it's not where I am. I first go back, templates, and then I create a folder called gallery, because we might be having many applications. After creating that gallery, I should go to that gallery and then create maybe the index.html and maybe some other HTML files that you would wish to create. For this case, for this purpose of the video, let me just stop on this. And now, after setting our environment like this, we should make it get to know of it should interact within itself. The settings interact with the application. So there are many things that we'll have to understand from these files that the Django creates for us. Since it's a framework of Python, so it acts as a template, or you don't code everything from scratch, and we'll see the linkings, which is very powerful to use. So if I get to the project main folder, inside it I've created an application called gallery, but I have to let this project know of the applications that I have. So I have to go inside project, then the settings, I register my application I've created, which is always under this installed apps. I call it gallery because it's the application I created, and then this comma again. After doing that, I have to let the settings know of the templates. So here you should say os.path.join, but os is not known at the moment, as we have to import it take note of these imports that we do here. So doing that, it allows us to register our templates to be known. os.path.join, and then we say on the base directory install for us the templates. That's why I had to put it on the root of our project. Templates, and then static and also media have to be known. They have their own residence down here. Static URL equals to static, then you add some other static root will be according to this os.path.join, then also base directory, and then we say we call it static. Then we also have a media URL. These ones, they weren't known by it, so that's why you had to put them and code them from scratch. So this is media, it's what we created, and again we say media root, and we say os.path equals os.path.join base directory, and then we make it the media folder that we gave it. Right now it won't complain of all other static files and then the media files, because it knows them under the settings. Another thing we have to do is to make it know of the URLs of our project, because we might be having many apps and those apps have many URLs. What are the URLs? URLs, they are the ones we use to access our pages, like links. So an app might be having many URLs. For real, inside it should have urls.py file. If it's not there, we can then create it, urls.py. So these URLs should be known by what? By the settings of the project. That's why we come here and we say on URLs, add for us something, include for us, but we have to import that include, and then you come and say path at the home of my project. Let me come and break down that. Include for us, it is gallery dot what? URLs, because there are other URLs that we have. This that I put here as an empty link, it means that I want to make this application as the first application when I run my application. So far I can run it and then it comes to the application that was known by the Django, which has the default template for its home page, but we have our applications that we are adding them. So these are the steps I'm following so that we reach at that step where we have our own pages running and they can do a lot of things or workarounds like that. So far so good. I have to go to the gallery app, and then I start doing something in these files that I have created. What are they? I explain one on one so that we come at par. The init.py file is maybe if you have some other initializations, but we shall not use them much. The admin.py file is the one that holds the other page and all the workarounds on the admin's side. That's if you want to delete some modules, some pages, or some other related stuff, and register other modules that you have created by yourself. That's the admin.py file that will be acting. Apps.py apps.py contain information on the apps that we've created. Models.py file that handles the tables or all our models that we create. They will be like tables because we shall give them columns, and we shall see how to do that. Then tests.py, if you have any tests you want to create for your file. If you deal much with mobile app development, you do a lot of tests before you deploy your application, but here we shall not be using it so much for starters. Then urls.py is the file that has our URL mappings or links to our different pages of the application. Views.py, we shall see something called MVT. It's a pattern or a paradigm. MVT means model view template. What that means is that we pick data from the model. The view handles that data to filter what we might maybe want to show to the public or to the front end. Then from the view to the template, there is a middleman called URLs that helps us to go through or pick what we want from the model or from every other kind of related settings that we have. So MVT works like that. It picks data from the model, takes it to the view, then to the template by the use or by the help of URLs. So that's all that is inside the application when you create it, and then others you can add. You see that the URLs doesn't come embedded in it. You're the one that creates it by yourself, and then you can add forms.py and all other stuff. Then that's the application. For the part of the applications, there is this important folder called migrations. We shall see when we shall be migrating things, and they will be stored here for sure. For the Django to create different tables, we have to migrate. We shall see that in shortly. So that's the case of the app. Then we come, let's first add something in the app, maybe. Not being reluctant on coding or explaining so far. Let me write something. From the Django, everything you're going to write, you must first import these at least. Django.urls import path. Then path handles the patterns. They are called URL patterns. They come and you write your own URLs that you will be using path. Then maybe at the home, if you had something like this, there are three things we should give or supply to the path. Here is the URL mapping, or is it the home, or you want to first visit, maybe contact us before you reach this specific page you're going to supply. So the first position is for the what? For the space where you're going to supply your view. The view comes here. So if we had home view or gallery view, this would come here. Gallery, then view. Then we shall give it a name. A name means we shall be using links where we have the anchor tags. They will be using these names to refer to the different URLs. Maybe I might say images for the names. And you see this highlighted because it must interact with the views, and the views are not yet imported from dot, because we are in this real space. From dot maybe views. Then I want to import all the views that I created maybe. So far we haven't created anything like gallery view, and we have to create it. So a view is a function. Let me say a view is kinda a filter for what we want to show to the what? To the templates or to the user in front. So here we are going to define views using functions, because there are two types of views in the Django, which are function views and then class-based views. But for starters, functional views have been easy for me to interact with, or they are kinda easy to do with. So let me define a gallery view that I have put here before creating it, and a view takes a request and serves that request that you want. So after taking a request, then you return the request to the user, but you render it to the page. That's why I say return render. Then I put something like render for me this request. Then I put the name of where I want this request to be served. Of course, we have first gallery as the folder, and we have some other files we created under gallery. So we are going to serve, they are templates by the way, we are going to serve this file to this view as a whole. So we say index.html. After that, another thing we can serve to it is the filtering, which means the context. Context can be maybe if you had some data from the database or from our models, this is what you would be using. Maybe if you had specific images or you wanted to see images from the database. Of course, we shall do this because this was among the purposes for these videos. So I have to say images may be equal to, let me say, image model, which we are going to create dot objects. These are functions that come with models, though I haven't imported them, so we shall import them and we'll see how they work. Dot all. If they are those, that's what I write here. I say images, they refer to images that I had there, but we have to first import these models, because image model so far is not known. So I say from dot models import, I want to import image model, which I haven't created so far, but I have to create it here. It will be a very, very simple model for us to learn from. Class, because it's a class, and we give it a name called image model, and it inherits from models. All models in Python or in the Django, they inherit from this. That's why it comes imported already. Models dot a model, and then we give it, these are like columns that we are going to give. I want to give just one column for us to be quick with this. Like image will be equaling to models. Of course, if it's an image, it has this image field that is its constraint, and then we have to supply one parameter called upload to, and we had our folder that we created under the media called uploads. Yes, here it is. So I will have to upload to uploads, and that's simply what I want to create with models. And after creating a model, a good practice is to quickly register it, because we want to access it under the admin. If you open the if you open the admin side. So I will say from dot models, I want to import that I have just created, image model, and then I register that model by admin dot site, then dot register image model. We shall see it after opening the admin's panel. I'm doing this without quickly opening, because we are setting the environment shortly, because if you run it minus setting it as a whole, it must show you some errors as Django, but if you've already set it, then you're good to go. And Django is very interesting. Sure. So I have to come to models, and then no, these are apps. You don't want to use apps. And in URLs, then gallery, it is gallery view, not gallery view. I have views. Views will be showing me something. Maybe since I'm going to show the post and then the get requests, I want us to do a simple demonstration here, which will be, let me first create a simple page and we then do what? See what it is, and we come and do a post and a get request quickly later on. So inside this, let me just create a template that we can view at the moment, so that we don't lose hope as we are coding. We first see the outcome. So under templates, we add our gallery and then index.html. So far, let me generate. I want to generate a template faster for index. This I will wrap it, don't follow it. HTML. I want to quickly pull this code here and copy it again to index.html, which won't be possible if you are already under this and it's a Django file. So I will say hello, and I see if it will come just on the page. So right now there are a few things we need to do so that our tables get migrated, our databases get seen, and those are migrations. So you come and say Python 3, maybe Python 3 manage.py make migrations. Oops, I see we are under gallery, so we have to come to the where there is manage.py cd. Yeah, that's project, the project folder. So I repeat, Python 3 manage.py make migrations. So let me see the, yeah, alright, this error we can handle it so quickly. It needs us to first install Pillow so that it handles the images. Without Pillow in your environment, you cannot do something related to images. So I would first install Pillow into our environment, and then I again run make migrations. They are done. So after that, I have to first migrate. I make migrations and again migrate. Python manage.py migrate. In this case, Python 3 for myself. Let me see. Oops, it's called migrate, not migrations. Right. So right now we are good to go, and I can maybe run my server or my application. Manage.py run server, and it is already running. Control and then click. So this is the template it's serving right now, and very boring. Let's go and add something. Oops. And now it's where I want us to create a simple form that will serve for us a space where to upload images and again view the images we've uploaded. In this case, it will be just let me make it a simple div. I code it from scratch, and maybe I just a little bit style it. We can use Bootstrap to style it, but at the moment I want to use a very baggy thing, or just a dummy page as we are learning this, because the core thing is the strong foundation for setting the environment, and that's all, and other things can come into the front end styling and whatnot. form, maybe the most important thing I can give form is method, and then our method can be post. Any form given or served to the Django should be given a check CRSF token, cross-site reference forgery token to first check if the data is valid. Anything being posted should be kind of being checked using that. So we just need a few things: a form that we need from the other side, maybe, then a submit button. This form we shall create it in the backends, and then we shall need just a button to submit. Button type should be given to submit, and then button. So this is it, and I want to go down. I create another div that will show our images, right, that we upload. Maybe if we upload an image, you can just see it. Maybe someone wants to tap on the image and they again delete them. Those are web apps that the Django works with, and they are very interesting. So just I'm coding this from scratch, not as fast as I could, because it's taking it as a Django file, not a HTML file. That's why I write all these, and I'm in VST code. This is where our images will be, and maybe we want to first check if any images have been put there. For all images, we loop through them. For objects in something like for I or for objects in we called it images, right, when we are in this model, in this view, because the view is the one that separates. We called them images. So this is what we shall be basing on for anything in images. If it's there, if that object, that's the condition I'm putting. Supply for me something. Now I put my HTML tags, image source, then this image will be, it will be our image that we've just put there, object dot image. This image is one of the columns in the other model we created, image. So that's why I come and say for anything in that model, if it's there, bring for me that something, but it's image. So but the image has to come with the URL, because it is not alone, and our image will be displayed. Another thing we have to take into consideration is it's called encoding type, and we shall see what it is. Enc type should be something, maybe multi-part, then from data. This, what it means, the encoding type serves only requests for files. For anything that there are files, this shouldn't miss, because it is the one that checks for file uploads in these forms of ours. This is the simple HTML we should see, but right now we can run it and it doesn't know all of this. They are coming from forms, and we don't have forms linking to our model. So we better go to one of our apps. For this, it's our gallery, and then we create our forms.py file where we'll have to put data that links this form to the model. What happens is that a user is on the front end and is uploading his data just to the database, and then we read from the database and we loop through those objects and show them to that user. That's why we should use forms or the Django model forms. Very, very simple. And that's the same case we shall be using for logins and then signups. We have to be using or interacting with forms a lot. The Django forms are very powerful and have a strong foundation for the Django. Let me see if I'm recording still. Yeah. So let's first import some things from the Django. Import forms, just like that, and then we create a form. We create a model form. If you click here, it creates it for you, and then you call it something like image form. Then it has a class method that shouldn't miss on all forms that you're trying to create, and it has a model it is referring to. Our model was called image model. It's not coming because we haven't imported it from .models. Import maybe all or image model, just image model. And then the fields, if you're having many fields, you can just put them like this, or you want maybe to put them all, you can use the other underscore like this. But right now we have only one column, or which is very simple for us to just note here. This is a form created, and it will interact with views, because views have to pick data from those forms. So we'll receive a request before handling it, and we first perform some checks, and then render them to our template. That's why we should say if request dot method is equal to post. This is a comparison operator. Then we say our form, let me name it my form, is equaling to it was a form called image form. I remember we created a form called image form, so we have to first also import it from .forms. Import image form. So our form will be image form, but we want to post it if data is there. Request dot post. Also it is handling files, so we have to first give it request dot files, and later on, if that is like that, form is that one. Then if we first perform some other check, if that form is valid, if form dot is valid, then we do something like form dot save. Otherwise, if not valid, you can put an else statement so that you do redirection. Maybe if you have form pages and you say return or redirect, but you can just ignore this at the moment, since it is very minimal, and we come direct to this else, but it should be else. Sorry, I say form, bring it the way it is. It is image form, but just render it the way it is, and we are good to go. This is a form which I have to supply to the context. I put it it here as form, display it for me as form, the way it is. So it is displaying it where here where I put form, right? So right now I hope we are ready to run our code and see if we can upload and then post what we've uploaded. So we can just use an upper navigation arrow to return to run our server again. Right now it is like this. So I see this, nothing is there. It means we didn't write anything into the button. It should be something like maybe someone is trying to upload. Yeah, so I have to show it clear. I choose file, and then maybe if I have some pictures, and maybe there are these. Let me upload this logo shortly. If I upload, it is showing as if it's there but not seen. So that's where you start debugging from. And right now we have to see what is causing that. First of all, we first check. You first check if what you uploaded went to the media. You see it's there. Then let's first supply an alt tag here, which will be uploaded image maybe. And another thing to check, we see this is a get request, but it is not posting it, because we should be seeing a post request here being done. So we have to see what is failing, and this is a step where I need to see we debug our code slow by slow till we get why it is failing to do what we want it to do. So right now I can upload something else, maybe maybe if I have pictures, let me just use these pictures. This fish, I see it coming like that. That might be the reason with the encoding type, or if not, something else. Tick tock, tick tock. So shortly, let me tell you what it is all about. Let me find what is not being supplied. They are the images, though we see we upload them, but they are not being displayed. So while troubleshooting, we see that these URL patterns are not serving the images from the model. Yeah, so what we have to do, first of all, we have to add this important step for the images to be served to the what? Served to us. So URL patterns, only in addition we shall add something called static, but before that we have to import from django.conf.urls.static import static. Then we need another setting called settings from django.conf configurations import settings. These two will help us to add or to serve our images to our application. So from these URLs we have already created, we have to increment them with static, which carries the media. They carry the settings.media URL and also the document root, which is media root. Remember, we had those in settings. We shall go back and have a view of them. Settings dot media document root. We should first define that. Document root is equaling to settings dot media root. With those two, another thing we had not yet done is to create the administrator for this site, so that we can also try add these other models in the admin site, or create those models using the admin site, and we see how it gives us a feel. So you create an administrator by Python or Py or Python 3, whatever you're using. Manage.py create super user, and you leave blank to put like Josh. For this case, let me use admin, and also the password, the email. You can use any email, and the password I use admin for this simple project. Do you want it to be as simple as this? Yes. Then I migrate for that user to be known in our tables. 3 manage.py migrate. Alright, then I run our server and see .py run server, and if we have to refresh, we shall see that our images were uploaded. So if we added Bootstrap so that it styles for us these images as fast as it can, it would be an easy way to go, since we are now focusing on the backends and the other stuff of setting the environment. This is what we are meant to do. We created an admin whom you can access through this. Oops, let's say is logged out. I usually log in like that, admin, then admin. Such a simple password, very simple. Change it now for purposes of study. So I have these image models created. You can get to it and see, or you can add some image model. Let's say you choose a file from this backend. I liked my WhatsApp logo and save it. Created. They show like this, that 1, 2, 3 and 4, but we can rename them in our models. We shall see how to do that also, just as simple as we shall be seeing. If we view the site, we can see that the WhatsApp, the images we upload come there, and right now I want you to look at it in this perspective. You have a gallery, you want to keep on updating, and maybe after uploading their pictures they get arranged in a good format. Let's say you're using Bootstrap columns, they're already stored, but you can use 3 per screen of this size. and later on style them, and it becomes some good work. But for the purpose of this video, we saw what it takes, or whatever steps in that manner, to create an environment for the Django and then start interacting with it. And more videos coming will be elevating to the real interaction with the Django, and these we shall not be like more into them that slow. So thanks for following along, and you can maybe subscribe to this video, and for more, follow me. My name is Joshua, normally usually for the nicknames. Mwesigo Joshua, the real name, and we can learn together through that process. Thanks for watching, and nice time.